It's rainy, it's gloomy, I'm wearing a sweater, and I had a lousy reading month. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Alyssa and today I am doing my August wrap up. Like I said in the intro, kind of had a lousy reading month. I kind of fell into a bit of a slump mid-month, and it was purely because I finished a book and I was like, oh boy, my brain is about to explode. So I didn't read as much as I had hoped, unfortunately. So why don't we get into it then? The first book that I finished this month, and the one that put me in that slight slump, Words of Radiance. So this was quite an undertaking. I finished the last 400-ish pages in like 10 days, and because I was so invested and I really wanted to finish it so I could start the next one, which you will see momentarily. It was so good. It didn't put me in a slump because it was bad, it put me in a slump because it was so good and my brain was so fried from reading so many pages in such a short amount of time. And I have so much other things going on that it's crazy. But I absolutely loved this sequel. I almost think this one's my favorite so far. Like, Way of Kings was good, made me cry, all that good stuff. But this one was just... there was so much character growth in this book, and you learned more about the world, and you met new characters. There's so much great things about this, and one of my new favorite characters has been introduced in this one. His name is Pattern. That's all I will say. But I really liked this book because we learned more about Shallan in this book, and this is essentially like her backstory book, and she's just such a great character. She's got just such a dark, rich backstory that you cannot help but love her. And I flew through those last 400 pages, and then I was like, my brain hurts, I need a break. So I took like a week-and-a-half break, and then I was slowly getting back into the reading, and that's where we are today. I obviously gave this 5 out of 5 stars. It was so good. I highly recommend this series. Obviously, it's my favorite of all time. Like, it's so good. So again, need a good fantasy. Yep. So then I ended up DNFing a book. I wasn't loving it, and I was already in a slump, so I put it down. I might pick it back up again. We'll see. And that is The Guinevere Deception by Kirsten White. It was something with the writing and something with just the pacing. I only made it like 30 pages in, so it wasn't really much of a, giving it a chance. And I don't think I'm a huge fan of King Arthur retellings or just the Camelot story in general. This is a story about a girl who's Queen Guinevere, and she's got some sort of magical secret, and she's off to marry King Arthur. And that's it. I don't know. I just have really mixed feelings about the 30 pages that I read, and I was already in a slump, so I put it down. I might pick this up again one day, I don't know, but for now I put it down. So then the next one that I actually finished and loved was Wicked Saints by Emily A. Duncan. I listened to this on audiobook, and that was a great choice because my brain was so all over the place and I was wanting to do other things, and so it was really nice to listen to this. This is about a girl named Nadia who is the last cleric, and she is able to tap into the powers of all the gods, and she is using them to potentially and hopefully assassinate the king of Trinavia, the opposing kingdom, to end the war. We also follow Seraphin Maleski, who is the king's son. He's fantastic, my favorite character. We're also following Malachias, who is a brooding hunk. That's the best way to describe him. And he has some deep dark secret. And I can't say it because it's a spoiler. I thoroughly enjoyed this. This plot was so well paced. The characters were actually really likable for the most part. I actually enjoyed the main character. Again, I struggle with young adult main characters, And I think it also helped that it wasn't told, like Nadia wasn't telling the story. I believe that's first person narrative. I always struggle with this. And it wasn't told from her head. I also really liked her because she was humble. She wasn't full of herself and she was doing her best. And I think that it definitely showed in the writing of this character. Seraphin was my favorite character. He was like a cinnamon roll, like a sassy, flirty cinnamon roll who was just trying to get by, and things happened and I was concerned. I won't say why or what happened, but I've got questions. I could have done without Malachi's. I thought he was really dumb and annoying. I don't know. I have a hard time with the brooding tough guy character because they always somehow get a redemption arc and I'm like, how? And he started off pretty nice. And then he kind of just went downhill for me as a character. I think the thing that I least liked about this book was the insta-love between two of the characters. It was just too perfect. The banter between them was very cute, but unfortunately it was just very, oh my gosh, he's hot. It was purely based on looks at first, and then they slowly got to know each other, and it was very insta-love, and I can't deal with that. And it's annoying because I know she's not going to end up with my favorite character, and that is infuriating because he's way nicer. Why female protagonists go for the bad boy? Why can't we go for the nice guy who treats you nice? That's a whole nother rant for a whole nother video. So like I said, I listened to the audiobook of this, and it's kind of funny because I liked it, but I also didn't. By the time I was kind of like, okay, do I want to continue on with this audiobook? I was already pretty invested in the story, and I was already used to the narrators. So the narrators they chose were an interesting choice. And I know that it's kind of hard to get younger narrators these days, I guess, but they all sounded like they were in their mid-40s or like 30s, 40s, somewhere around there, and they had seen so much, which, to be fair, the characters had, but it's just weird. So there is a lady narrator and a guy narrator, and the lady had a great Russian accent, but everyone sounded like they were like constipated or like talking through clenched teeth like this all the time with their Russian accent. And I mean, I have friends from Russia and they don't talk like that, and it was just a little frustrating. And it made the characters just sound older than they were. These are teenagers, and they sounded like they were in their 30s to 40s most of the time. Because of the narrator, I thought Malachias was like at least 10 years older, and turns out he was like close to the same age. I wish that she had tried to make them sound a little younger, but at the same time, the way she talked and the tone of the way she told the story really fit the atmosphere. This is very cold, very dark, very gritty atmosphere of the book. She definitely fit that, but unfortunately all her characters sounded old. There's also a character in this book named Parijahan, and I kept thinking she kept saying like Parmesan or Prairie Dawn from Sesame Street. I'm a toddler, okay? Then the guy narrator was better. He was decent, and he'd read Seraphin's chapters, and again, kind of made them all sound old. And I don't really know what his accent was supposed to be. If it was supposed to be Russian or something else. But it was odd. But at least he made them sound relatively younger. Not by a lot, mind you. And another thing about him, and this is going to be like the most obscure reference because I don't know if anybody's going to know this. He sounds exactly like this character from Skyrim. Seraphin's voice sounds just like him, and this is Ulfric Stormborn, I believe? Nope. I don't know his name. I'll put it here. Just like this guy from Skyrim. And I even looked it up. I'm like, is this the same guy? It's not. Just sounds an awful lot like him. So I couldn't get that image out of my head. That was a very long rant about just the narrators in the audiobook, but I thought I'd mention it in case anyone was curious. I think they did a good job with the atmosphere and the tone, but I think they could have worked on their accents and their character age voice a little bit better. So for the story plus a little bit of the audiobook, it's nothing on the book, so it's kind of like my own personal preference. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. Again, I really enjoyed this. I will definitely be listening to the sequels, because once I listen to one audiobook of a series, I have to listen to the rest of them on audio. I'm weird. But I will definitely be continuing on with the series. I will probably buy the physical copies. I wish I could get the matching one, the Owl Crate matching one. So if anybody has it for sale, let me know. I really enjoyed it, so 4 out of 5 stars for sure, hands down. So then this month I started, but definitely didn't finish, Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson. Not far, because again, reading slump. And this one's kind of been a bit of a slow start, and it follows a character that I'm not too invested in. This follows Dalinar mostly, and I love Dalinar, but not as invested in him as Shallan and Kaladin. So it's been a little bit of a struggle. I would like in the next month to get at least halfway through. It's a 1,200 page book, so I don't know. Hopefully finish this by November. It's a great feat for me. And I don't know if I'm going to be continuing on with this one next month. So you're gonna see in my September TBR that I'm gonna hopefully finish this at the present moment, because I'm filming this after that, because filming has been weird. That's A Gathering of Shadows by V. Schwab. I'm just having a hard time with this one. I'm not far in, like I'm almost 200 pages in, I believe. Nope, not even close. See? And it's a very slow start, and I'm struggling a little bit to get into this. I don't want to put it down because I'm afraid I'm never gonna pick it up again. I don't know, man. So I'm gonna keep going, and I'm gonna keep trying, but I did read some of this month. The last book that I got quite a bit of a ways through, and I'm pretty surprised actually, not really, because it's Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. I am absolutely loving this. It's so addicting and it's so good. I'm nearly halfway through. I am obsessed. It's so good. I have a hard time putting it down when I pick it up, and I'm constantly thinking about, oh, I'm gonna read some more today. So I'm absolutely loving this. I'm so glad I picked this up. My child's got good taste. If you didn't see that video, I'll link it above, down below. It's very cute, even though you already knew what I read this month. It's got my kid in it. And I'm biased. So I'm very much enjoying this. There's a lot of mystery, a lot of intrigue, a lot of banter and funny moments. I think this is probably, hands down, the funniest Sarah J. Maas book I've read yet. And I've read all her stuff. So that was a dumb sentence, but we're rolling with it. Even though it's hecka long, it doesn't feel like it takes that long to get through. And I fly through the chapters, and then I'm like, oh, it's a short chapter, I'll read one more. I'm absolutely obsessed. So glad I picked this up this month. So these are all the books I finished / did not finish. It's pretty sad, really. Honestly, I'm just a really slow reader, and I have a lot of other things going on right now. I've got a friend's wedding, I've got vacation coming up in a month, I've got to get my house cleaned for that vacation. So I've just got a lot going on, and I think it just kind of all came to a head this month, and I just decided to not read for a little bit. And that's okay. Sometimes you have months where you read a butt ton, and sometimes you don't. Thank you all so very much for watching. I appreciate you. I love you. That was weird. Make sure you subscribe, and make sure you give this a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Let me know what your favorite book of the month was. Also, make sure you check out my Instagram down below. I am far more active on Instagram, to be completely honest. I'm always posting on my stories, posting pictures, and I've recently discovered the Reels feature, so I've been having a lot of fun with that. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you very, very soon in the next video. Bye-bye!